Blimps, dirigibles, zeppelins, airships. What's the difference? What do they do? Who came up with them? Why? When? Where? Watch this episode and you'll know as we look at blimps on Deep Fat Fried, and not just the hosts.
Deep Fat Fried.
Goddamn blimps.
I just want to say I find this episode personally offensive to me.
I'm offended by this.
Do not call me a blimp. I am a, what do you call it, a dirigible? Didgeridoo? I'm a didgeridoo.
I'm a
didgeridoo.
So let's start with some definitions here. What is an airship? So an airship is any powered, steerable aircraft that is inflated with a gas that's lighter than air.
That's pretty simple.
Okay. So what's a dirigible then?
I don't know.
A dirigible is pretty much a synonym for airship. So it's just like a hoity-toity, fancy schmancy way of saying an airship.
Would you like to come aboard my dirigible? Oh, yes. Not an airship, a dirigible.
The dirigible term is often used for rigid-bodied airships, but the word doesn't come from rigid. It comes from the French verb diriger, which means to steer.
To steer.
Diriger.
Diriger.
So the rigid airships like the Hindenburg, which we'll discuss tonight, and semi-rigid airships like the Zeppelin NT, and blimps like the Goodyear Blimp are all examples of different types of airship. So what's a blimp then?
Yeah, tell me.
So a blimp is technically a pressure airship. It's a powered, steerable, lighter than air vehicle whose shape is maintained by the pressure of the gas within its envelope. So it doesn't have like a hard body to it. Like if you were to deflate the Goodyear Blimp, it would lose its shape.
I see.
So it's not a hard-bodied thing, and its shape is maintained by the pressure of the gas that's loaded up into the blimp. So when the Goodyear Blimp isn't being used, it is likely deflated and stored up and folded up in a specific way.
It's like a fucking balloon. There's not a rigid structure to the balloon that exists no matter what.
It's a balloon that you can steer with some kind of external mechanism, because it's different.
That's crazy.
It's not just a hot air balloon. It's a hot air balloon with a pilot seat that has ballast that you maintain, and you can steer using engines.
Because I could see myself like a hot air balloon. It's like, it's kind of open. See, like they got a little fucking compartment down there. Like I'd be fine being in a blimp.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to go on a fucking blimp. Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, that only seem that dangerous. I mean, like, the Hindenburg shit happened a long time ago, dude. But that was a Zeppelin, though.
So what is a Zeppelin? Now that you've mentioned it, Scotty. A Zeppelin is just a rigid airship, but a specific kind of rigid airship manufactured by a particular company, the Luftschiffbau Zeppelin of Germany, the Zeppelin Airship Construction Company, founded by Count Ferdinand von Zeppelin, right here. Maybe the coolest mustache that ever existed and the coolest name.
I mean, just look at this dude. This is the kind of motherfucker we should have for
How
a
do you do?
president.
I am Count Ferdinand von Zeppelin.
I am Ferdinand von Zeppelin.
Doesn't he look like, if you closed your eyes and imagined a dude that invented a crazy fucking flying balloon that he could zip around in, is it not this little old guy here that comes in your mind?
He does not disappoint. The inventor of the Zeppelin does not disappoint.
You know what else? You know what else I could say about this guy? If they ever made obviously not now because he's long dead, but if this dude was still alive and they needed to make a fucking Captain Crunch movie, this guy could play Captain Crunch, dude. Change the outfit up a little bit. He's got the mustache. That's the Captain Crunch mustache, dude. This is the true Captain Crunch.
This is, I mean, and the whole jib that he cuts, from the old binoculars to the kind of tweed suit and the hat, dude. Everything he has on him just screams like, "I'm a dude what knows who he is, and I'm better than you."
Yeah, he really does.
And he
Take
was.
my
I guess.
hand and let's go on a Zeppelin adventure.
All right. I'm down. I mean, like, if someone comes and offers me, if Count Ferdinand von Zeppelin or whatever is like, come aboard the Zeppelin, Scotty, leave your life behind, I'm going to be like, I'm at least going to be tempted.
Anybody
Take
want some
me with
Skittles?
Fuck yeah, dude. Give me some Skittles.
I'll
Give me
send
them
you some
Skittles.
Skittles through the internet.
All right.
Damn. Send me them internet Skittles now.
So Ferdinand von Zeppelin is considered to be the father of rigid airships, but not all rigid airships are Zeppelins, just like not all Xerox not all copy machines are Xerox copy machines, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So it's a branding thing. A Zeppelin is a certain type of rigid airship made by a certain company founded
Like
by
Band-Aids.
So what are these things used for historically? Now they're mostly used for advertisement. So faster than a hopping kangaroo, more powerful than a banner advertisement, able to elevate your brand to never before seen heights. Look up at the sky. It's a bird, it's a plane, it's an advertising blimp.
All right, dude. DFF Blimp.
Yeah, we need to get a blimp.
DFF Blimp.
Dude, let's just pipe a hose up TJ's ass and inflate him.
I'll just float around like, I'm an airship, you guys.
We'll like hang a basket from him and we'll ride around on him and steer him around.
Let some gas out.
TJ, we're getting too much altitude. Let out a fart.
Dude, we need some fan art. We need some fan art of me and Scotty flying around in the TJ blimp. Or if you hate me, make me the blimp. I don't care. TJ and Scotty flying around in the Paul Year blimp.
Yeah.
The Paul Year Blimp. All right.
So, it's estimated
that's
there's
an
only.
that's
I
a
know.
fucking.
Come on. What the fuck,
That's
dude?
an abomination.
Can you imagine going to the beach for the day to enjoy the ambiance and being plagued with this fucking minion blimp flying around to get your attention?
It's just like, I don't know. That would put me in a real fucking misanthropic
Dude, sometimes
mood.
it's permissible to shoot blimps down, and this is one of them.
Yeah, dude. This should be fucking.
Blown out of the sky.
Yeah, fire a warning
Yeah.
shot. There is someone in there. I don't want to kill them necessarily. But
Yeah, it's like you fire one shot in the air. It's like, get out of here. If you want to
down.
live, you better get the fuck out.
So when it comes to blimps, there's only about 25 operating in the entire world when you're talking about these big, actually manned blimps.
And we wasted one on a goddamn fucking minion.
Yeah, we did.
Ugh.
Well, oftentimes, a lot of times these blimps will be repurposed. So like they will sell advertising space. This might be like a fucking McDonald's blimp next week. You know what I mean?
Right.
They fly it around and it looks like whoever owns the godforsaken Minions, Disney, I guess, right?
No.
Universal.
Universal.
So
Okay,
Comcast
Universal
probably.
paid them then. So I got a video here of an epic advertising pitch for blimps.
Does blimp advertising work? Well, I see we open with a blimp.
Dude, I'm already sold on the deep fat fried blimp.
Yeah.
Dude,
Well,
this guy here knows what's what, man. That's all I'm saying. Hold on, let me fucking do the volume thing because good. Oop. Okay.
Has become a numbing experience. It is a toxic epidemic that has reached to every corner of your life.
Yeah.
Advertising commands your limited attention. But what if it didn't have to be that way? What
Yeah.
if there was something else?
Yeah.
Something
A brighter
actually
future.
welcome?
Are you looking for your next adventure? Why don't you try looking up?
Oh, shit.
I want that product. I want it.
Other ladies
T-Mobile,
light
give
up
it to
around
me.
field to show off the carnival.
I don't like cruise ships, but if I did, I would fucking buy it.
This is pretty cool. I'm going to tell you why it's in San Diego.
Look at all the fucking media attention he gets with a blimp.
Yeah, you know, the second you put a blimp in the town, people are like, whoa, it's a blimp.
There's a blimp in town.
Dude, every local news station is bored. Like, this is the perfect thing, dude. I'm buying a blimp, dude. I'm just gonna go around and be like, look, whatever fucking dystopian piece of shit advertiser wants to put shit on my blimp, just pay me like $100,000 and we'll fucking do it.
Really big on the blimp. Hashtag choose fun.
Choose fun.
I'm getting a behind the scenes look at that
See, there you
blimp.
go.
The
There's
Despicable
the
Blimp
minion.
is now heading east. Its next stop, New Orleans.
No!
You guys missed it?
Dude, I fucking missed the blimp.
We missed the Minion blimp. It was here, Scotty. It was here.
Dude, I found my calling in life, dude. This Paul, thank you for this episode, dude. I want to own a blimp, dude.
The campaign calls for consumers to show how they choose.
Choose fun.
A blimp!
Look at the blimp. That's all I gotta do. Because look, it's the dumbest shit you gotta do. It's like, look, you slap an ad on and people go, it's the blimp. Oh my god, it's the blimp. That's it. That's
What
all you gotta do.
product? What product is that? I want it. Give me that product.
I want to choose fun. Give me a blimp.
Honey, book us a Carnival Cruise Line right now. Why? I saw a fucking blimp, woman.
By posting a photo of the airship when they see it and hashtagging choose fun.
Skiers in the water. This is long distance record, so you're going all the way round twice.
And you know,
Dude,
What
it's
is this
everywhere.
epic
The Minion is everywhere.
Like, are these blimps about to bomb us? What the
Dude,
fuck
this
is
is
this
meant
music
to.
choice?
This is like a corporate sales pitch from a company that owns this blimp that they've repainted to be a Minion and a bunch of other shit, right?
Yeah, and these people are just like, man,
They're just showing like how effective it is at getting attention.
bunch of advertisers out there in the world like,
Oh my god, this fucking blimp.
yeah. Oh, everyone's fucking captivated by the blimp. Everyone loves the fucking blimp.
That's what advertisers want more than anything is your attention. So of course, like that, it's like an advertiser's wet dream. It's like,
Scotty, can you imagine if we had the blimp? Oh, the blimp.
imagine the power the blimp would give us. Any product.
Dude, if we had a blimp, we would be worldwide sensations.
I know.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I'm buying a blimp. They're probably like $1 million bucks or something.
You might want to hold off on that.
Wait a minute. What?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
one of the largest in the world, 165 feet.
A new Guinness World Records title, which makes you both officially amazing.
Anyway, you get it.
Yeah, the blimp is amazing.
They're selling the blimp to people. Now, you may notice you don't see any like small brands on these blimps.
Yeah, I did notice that.
No, not really.
Well, there's a reason for that. And there's a reason for why we don't see blimps as much as we did like back when I was a kid. It was pretty usual for a blimp to fly around your town when I was in the 80s. Not so much anymore. The main reason you never see these ships anymore is because of the huge cost it takes to build and run them. So they're super expensive to build and super expensive just to fly, as they require a huge amount of helium, which can cost up to $100,000 for a single trip.
Whoa.
So when you said, Scotty, earlier that you were going to charge big companies $100,000 and slap your name on the blimp, you're going to have to
hell no
go a little higher.
I'm
than
upping
that.
my prices. You know, dude, my prices just went up to $1 million.
Yeah. So the price of helium keep going up because there is a they're calling it a worldwide helium shortage, like there's ever going to be helium come back to the world.
Yeah.
We're short on it. Well, Paul, we can capture from space, though. Remember?
Oh yeah,
Space
we're gonna
get
invent the
space
magic
helium.
space vacuum that goes and sucks helium. And
We got
And
some
comes
more.
back to Earth, and
Yeah.
it's like, hey, here's your helium.
it's also no small feat to fly one of these things. They may be kind of like big and slow, but it takes a whole lot of fucking training to get, I guess, fucking certified to fly one of these fucking things. According to the Federal Aviation Administration, only about 128 people in the United States are qualified to fly these ships, and only 17 of them are paid to do it full time. So not many people do it. On average, it takes pilots 10 to 15 hours to learn how to fly like a single engine Cessna type plane. But in order to pilot one of these solo, you have to do 250 to 400 hours of training with somebody who's already been trained.
Damn.
So it's a very exclusive club. You're not allowed to just buy one of these and put around the skies with them, unfortunately. They're considered to be, you know, a fucking airplane or not an air vehicle, and you've got to be specially licensed and trained in order to.
Bullshit, dude. There's one thing America's taught me. I'm going to lobby Congress and have the laws repealed and changed so that I can have my
know what you
dream
should
of owning
do?
a blimp.
put that on your blimp and fly it all over Congress. You know what I mean? Like,
yep. I'm going to go on my blimp over Congress, be like, change the law, repeal blimp laws.
What I'm doing right now is illegal, and it shouldn't be. Repeal the blimp ban, you know?
Yeah. Then the blimp crashes into Congress, and Scotty's known as like a terrorist that crashed a blimp into Congress and shit, even though it was just like, you know, an accident.
Outside of advertising, blimps are also about getting an aerial view of things. They become much more reliable in the past few years. Drones. And they're a cheaper and easier way to get that aerial view, to do these kind of like long, steady shots of the landscape. Like, people used to have to get a blimp to get some of the shots you see in movies.
Right, yeah.
You know, they're really high, steady, slow-moving, quiet, still shot. You can only get one really from one of these types of machines. Well, now drones have functionally replaced blimps and the need for them in that. So if you ever happen to see a blimp floating up above you, even if it's a minion blimp, know that it's a rare sight to see. Another rare sight these days: alarm clocks, stereos, DVD players, just some of the things in your home there you may have in your home now that will not exist in about 10 years. So
a lot of those things barely exist now.
So we've looked at advertising with blimps and airships. What about traveling with them? So the airship story actually starts in France. Following the invention of the hot air balloon in 1783. Inspired by that creation, engineer Jean-Baptiste Maisonnier, another Jean-Baptiste that we've covered pretty back to back to back. He designed an elaborate dirigible with a 276-foot-long elliptical balloon powered by 3 propellers, featuring a boat-like basket attached to the balloon by a bunch of ropes. His design was never built, but shortly after, in 1785, French inventor Jean-Pierre Blanchard and American Dr. John Jeffries crossed the English Channel in a hydrogen balloon.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Here's a, kind of like
pretty cool
artist's rendition.
Especially for fucking 1785, you know?
Yep. So during the 2.5-hour flight, the pair had trouble steering the balloon, which was also overloaded and dipped dangerously close to the water. So to lighten the load, Blanchard and Jeffries threw out all their cargo and even stripped off all their clothes. So to try and keep it from crashing into the channel, they barely made it. In the following years, airship design developments came really quick. In 1852, French engineer Henri Giffard flew the first steam-powered hydrogen balloon airship with steering. However, a key turning point came with the creation of the Zeppelin airship in 1895, which was patented by, as we said before, Count Ferdinand von Zeppelin, and built by aviation pioneer David Schwartz. So these were actually used to fly, to do transatlantic flights, Zeppelins in particular. And they were a way for rich, well-to-do people to get to Europe at a time before airplanes could functionally make that flight in one stop and shit. So you could just kind of like get on a dirigible and go over the fucking Atlantic Ocean.
That'd be pretty fucking cool to do even now, to be honest with you.
Yep. So people would travel around in these types of things for a while. But as we will see later, the end of commercial travel via dirigible ended in fiery doom. The other thing that they were made and used for, as you can imagine, is war. World War I wasn't just, trench warfare. There were submarines. There were planes buzzing in the skies, and this airborne machine here, but kind of vanished from warfare after World War I, the Zeppelin. Zeppelins were, first and foremost, intimidating to behold. So a lot of military historians think that is probably the most effective thing about the Zeppelin, was that it was terrifying to have one of these things from an enemy army just like patrolling your skies. It was a giant looming, flag of an enemy army.
Yeah. I mean, you see that you see this in movies, and shit. Like, you see the Nazi airship that like comes over the town or whatever, and it's like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
It's like an intimidating thing. I mean,
Well, it turns
It's
out
actually-
it's not just intimidating as a MacGuffin in movies. It actually was incredibly intimidating to live in a town and
It's
have one of these.
huge.
Yeah. So Zeppelins were intimidating to behold. The massive cylindrical balloons were built with metal skeletons filled with hydrogen to stay aloft. If you know anything about chemistry, hydrogen is a little bit volatile.
Right.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Which is why I'm surprised, honestly, kind of surprised they were used for war as much as they were. But
Yep. Their skeletons and rudders allowed them to be steered into and out of enemy territory, and they crept along in night skies, their heavy hum announcing the presence of oncoming bomb raids. Germany was confident that Zeppelin-led raids would give them the advantage in the war, but this wasn't exactly the case. There wasn't much precision in airstrike efforts this early on in military history, and Zeppelins were more effective for their fright factor. They were huge and menacing. Where they really helped was in supply and soldier transport. Additionally, their elevated vantage point aided submarine detection and allowed them to act as an overhead bodyguard for troops moving along the ground. So they really weren't all that effective as bombers. I remember reading, in fact, I have it here. Throughout World War I, Germany's 140 Zeppelins were responsible for only 1,500 deaths. So really,
that's
really not all that effective as a bomber. Way more effective as a
psychological warfare,
right? Psychological warfare and a scout.
Yeah.
So you could argue that they wreaked more havoc in German kitchens than in the skies of Europe.
Okay.
Early Zeppelins were constructed internally from rubber, but engineers soon discovered that the most effective material for encasing hydrogen was gold beater skin. In other words, guts.
Some guts.
Here's a little more insight into this unique material. Cow's intestines, sourced from butchers in Germany and German-occupied territories like Austria, Poland, and northern France, were washed and skinned of their external membranes. Then they were bathed in an alkaline mixture, stretched to dry. The resulting product was called gold beater's skin and was originally used by jewelers to wrap around pieces of gold that were hammered into super thin gold leaf. So it used to be really only useful for that. Zeppelin engineers found another use for it. The skin was moistened again, and pieces were patchworked together into these large sheets that would dry with airtight seals. No other material, including rubber, could be sealed so tightly. And that tight seal was imperative, as hydrogen is the most lightweight element and can easily escape containment. So gold beater skin was worked into a bag shape filled with hydrogen. Those bags allowed Zeppelins to float weightlessly in the sky. If you're thinking you may need a ton of guts to make a big enough skin bag to fill a Zeppelin, you'd be absolutely right. On average, it took 250,000 cow intestines to create a single
Holy
Zeppelin.
Shit.
Yeah, basically each one of these is like a fucking cow massacre.
It's 250,000 cows flying through the air, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why kitchens in Germany suffered. Germans are known for their sausages, as you well know. The bratwurst, the Wiener Schnitzel, the sauerkraut, but unfortunately,
Okay.
the sausage casings were needed to make Zeppelins, and there was nothing to encase the meat in, so...
No!
That was probably the most damaging thing that happened because of Zeppelins in warfare, was that German people had to live throughout World War I without sauerbraten.
Poor fucking
Dude, no wonder the
Germans,
Germans are so fucking salty.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
Now we know what really gave rise to Hitler. He had to fucking grow up in a Germany that had no fucking...
sausage. Do you have a sausage in your house now?
I'm sorry, I gave all my sausages for the Zeppelin, mein Führer.
99999.
So let's talk about some disasters. Now, this is not the Hindenburg. This is actually the USS Akron, and is one of the first, maybe if not the first, mass air disaster in U.S. history.
Cool.
USS Akron was the largest airship of its time as of 1931 when it was debuted. It was over 785 feet long, as you can see here, a massive ship.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the
You
people
can
for
see
scale.
compared to the little people.
Yeah,
there,
they look like little ants.
And it was a Zeppelin-esque, semi-rigid structure to keep it afloat, filled with helium instead of hydrogen. The Akron only had a short 2-year lifespan, but it still caused its fair share of problems. While trying to land these monster airships, it would take large groups of men pulling on ropes to bring the ship down to the ground where it could be secured. But in 1932, when trying to land in high winds, the helium-filled airship started rising into the air, and rather than letting go of the ropes, listen to these idiots. Rather than letting go of the ropes like everyone else, 3 men held on as the Zeppelin went higher and higher.
Yeah.
No.
Let go.
Two of those men lost their ability to hold onto the rope at over 200 feet above the ground and were just killed instantly on impact. The third man hung on for more than 2 hours and at heights of over 2,000 feet before the crew was able to kind of pull him up into the thing through a porthole in the bottom of the Zeppelin.
He's lucky. Dude, that could be a movie in itself. Hang on from a fucking
dude.
For 2 hours? That's insane.
Just
that dude
make
had
a movie
some
called
serious
Hang
strength.
On. Yeah.
Hang on, buddy! Ah! How do we
So-
save this man's life?
Let's see. So in 1933, the Akron would have its last flight as it was ordered to fly an observation mission in New Jersey, even though there was a massive thunderstorm coming, which normally grounded these unpredictable airships. There was a miscommunication with the crew on board, and instead of navigating the ship around the storm, it was navigated directly into it.
Okay.
High winds sent the ship plunging towards the earth, dropping more than 1,000 feet in altitude, which caused the captain on board to make what would be a fatal decision for most of the crew and passenger on board. He made the call to dump the ship water ballast tanks that provided the weight needed to prevent the helium-fill ship from flying away. But when those tanks were emptied, it forced the ship to gain altitude at such a drastic rate that it ended up snapping the cables connecting the cargo passenger area of this thing to the ship itself, sending everybody on board, all 76 crew, careening into the ocean to their deaths. There was only 3 survivors, one of which was the captain, who made the fatal mistake of emptying the ballast tanks in the first place.
Oops, sorry. Killed everybody. You
I
guys made
accidentally
it.
killed them all, but hey, I'm alive.
Look,
so
you guys made it, though, so not so bad, right?
me and 2 other people survived.
And then I got a little video here of a newsreel covering the Hindenburg disaster. This is pretty interesting if you've never seen it.
America at war. I know it's not that.
This is the Gaumont British News, presenting the world to the world.
The world.
Gaumont, British News, TJ.
British news. The Hindenburg disaster.
For this most terrible tragedy of aerial travel, we give you from America the account of an eyewitness.
With no hint of impending tragedy, Captain Truss brings the Hindenburg over the airport at dusk. On board, passengers are eagerly awaiting to disembark, many filled with thoughts of home. Everything goes smoothly as the ship is gradually lowered. Ballast is dropped. At less than 300 feet from the earth, the ground crew of 200 sailors and civilians grabs the ropes. In 5 minutes more, the ship will have landed. Then, without an instant's warning, the giant Hindenburg goes to her doom.
Oh, man, that's fucked. Oh, no. It's Led Zeppelin 1.
As the blazing airship hits the ground, many leap, some to safety, some to death.
Oh, God.
You see the people running away from it, running out of it?
Yeah, I see him. That dude's like, ah!
Horrified crowds rush to the scene as before their eyes nearly 2 score die a dreadful death. Those who escaped by jumping have been dragged away by the ground crew, braving the terrific heat at the risk of their lives. Hotter grows the fire as the palatial and greatest airship ever built is reduced to a red-hot skeleton. It seems almost unbelievable that anyone could have escaped. Destroyed by some mysterious cause, The Hindenburg goes to the Valhalla of airships.
The Valhalla.
There you
So
go.
you see here,
Now
so you see here
I
clearly.
love fucking old school
I mean, number one,
newsreel shit.
there's no emergency response of any kind. No one has any idea what to do because this has not gone smoothly. There's no like fire trucks or any mechanism to put this fire out or deal with it. There's no emergency response of any kind
Nope.
at this airfield.
It's literally
Which is
just
stuff we all.
people running around like chickens with their heads cut off.
Which is why, like, people take that for granted in modern society, but like all that shit is based on accidents like this happening, and the response being like, "Who the fuck knows what to do?
What are we supposed to fucking do?
Run around like this."
Someone got to do something, right?
Someone has
So-
got to do something.
The Hindenburg was an 804-foot long airship of conventional Zeppelin design, launched at Friedrichshafen, Germany in March 1936. Maximum speed of 84 miles an hour and a cruising speed of about 78 miles an hour. It's not bad. It was designed to be filled with helium gas. The airship was filled with highly flammable hydrogen, owing to export restrictions by the United States against Nazi Germany. So in 1936, the Hindenburg inaugurated commercial air service across the North Atlantic by carrying 1,002 passengers on 10 scheduled round trips between Germany and the United States. On May 6, 1937, while landing here at Lakehurst, New Jersey, the first of its scheduled 1937 transatlantic crossing, the Hindenburg just burst into flames, was completely destroyed. 36 of the 97 people aboard killed. Fire was officially attributed to a discharge of atmospheric electricity in the vicinity of a hydrogen gas leak from the airship. I've looked into this, and the real answer to this is nobody really knows. That answer, a random discharge of static electric in whatever the fuck, and positing a leak in this thing. Nobody knows why this thing blew up.
Yeah. Still a mystery to this day.
And in fact, at the time, it was speculated that the dirigible was the victim of an anti-Nazi act of sabotage. The Hindenburg disaster marked the end of the use of rigid airships in commercial air transportation. And
so
pretty
basically,
much,
people were so freaked the fuck out by this footage, they're just like, fuck these.
I mean, and
We're done.
think about it. Would you get on one of these after watching that?
No, especially when there's not even an explanation as to why it happened.
Why did it
Nobody
happen?
can tell you
no one
why.
knows.
You saw what a fucking horrible, hideous, insane ball of flame. It was like something the size of a building just burning and instantly, and people running out of it screaming. I'm never getting on one of those things. And that basically is why you don't see blimps anymore. I did find some articles that said that blimps may be making a comeback, but I couldn't find any evidence for that. I think there's a lot of people hoping, because they maybe own an old blimp and they're hoping they can bring it back.
I think that there's a certain charm and like I think there's a certain appeal to like the blimp or Zeppelin sort of aesthetic. Like it looks cool. It looks
attention grabbing, of course.
Yeah, and it, like
you saw how people reacted. Even now, it's like
that's
even
why
in
they
modern
did the
times.
whole like, oh look, advertise on a fucking blimp and all this stuff. But like, this technology is like it's antiquated. There's nothing that it can do that a fucking drone or a fucking plane can't do better. So
you know what, TJ? They don't look as cool doing it.
Yeah, that's about it.
True.
So maybe aesthetically, they might make a comeback for one reason or another, but it would basically be out of fucking nostalgia and aesthetics.
Whatever, dude. Garbage.
Okay.
True. Well, that's Blimps. Hope you enjoyed it.
Hi, everyone. It's your old pal Mickey here with a direct order. I mean, an option that you are strongly encouraged to take advantage of. You will click the link below. You will subscribe to the Pessimist Productions Patreon. I mean, if you wanna, wink wink, there's more content there than, well, you could swing a dead toddler at. Exclusive shows, exclusive streams, hours of exclusive content. Why aren't you clicking? Why aren't you subscribing to the Pessimist Productions Patreon? You're making Mickey sad.